ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि
नारायण
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
जो भी अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
मेरा है यह लेने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा है यह देने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया। हरि शरणं 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 हरि हम है रमण बिहारी के। रमण बिहारी के ठाकुर हमरे रे रमण बिहारी। हम है रमण बिहारी के ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी। हम है रमण बिहारी के साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा। साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा। साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा। साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा। कामन दुनियादारी से। कामन दुनियादारी से। कामन दुनियादारी से। कामन दुनियादारी से।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी। हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी। हम है रमण बिहारी के
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी। हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी। हम है रमण बिहारी के
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी। बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायकु फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर। जय कपीसति लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा। अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी। कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा। कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे। कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन। तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर। राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया। राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा। विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे। रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए। श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई। तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे। अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा। नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते। कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा। राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना। लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु। लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि। जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते। सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे। होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना। तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे। तीनों लोक हाँकते कांपे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone.
Jai Shri Krishna,
Going
ma'am.
before Lord Krishna to seek his blessings and paying respectful salutations to Param Pujya Swamiji, Swami Govindev Giriji Maharaj, I, as a representative of Gita Parivar, Dr. Anita Patil, welcome you all present in the Zoom session today. Namaste Sharade Devi Kashmir Pura Vasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehi Me. To you, O Devi, I always pray, please bestow upon me the gift of knowledge. For today's prayer, I invite GNS Lakshmi Didi from Chennai. Lakshmi Didi has joined Gita Parivar since June 23 and is giving seva as a technical assistant. I welcome you, Didi. Please begin the prayer.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं, देवकी परमानन्दं, कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी। Thanks for giving this opportunity, Didi. Really, I'm
Thank
very
you
much
so
glad.
much, Didi, for the yes, Didi. Thank you so much for the melodious prayer. We now proceed with lighting the lamp, the Deepa Prajwalan. Through the radiance of this lamp, let us seek blessings from the divine and find solace in today's pursuit of gaining knowledge. For today's Deepa Prajwalan, I invite Girja Balasubramaniam Didi from Gottigeri, Bangalore. Didi joined Gita Parivar in July 21. He is a Gita Pathik and is giving seva as a co-trainer in L1, L2, L3 classes. I welcome you, Didi. Please begin the Deepa Prajwalan.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः, करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः। विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः, प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम्। शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां, कलहंसकृतां वरदां शारदा नुमः।
Didi, you are muted.
Voice is not coming, Didi.
Sorry.
Not
very
audible.
sorry. Yes, very sorry. Thank you so much, Didi, for the beautiful Deepa Prajwalan. One important announcement. As you all know, in the Jnana Yagya being done on behalf of the Gita Parivar, more than 8,000 volunteers, many of us in L42 are providing their sevas in more than 30 plus departments. For those who want to know the details and offer their seva, the information about the opportunity to provide seva in these various departments will be given to you in the session Let's Be a Gita Volunteer, Aao Gita Sevi Bane, to be held on 10th December. Please attend this session and render whatever seva you can in the feet of Lord Krishna. Thank you. Today, to make us understand the divine knowledge of the fourth part of the second Adhyaya, Sankhya Yoga, we are blessed to have with us senior trainer Shraddha Raodeo Didi. Didi is from Hyderabad. She is an electronics engineer and has over 13 years of experience in mobile app development. Shraddha Didi is a disciple of Swamiji. Is with Gita Parivar since August 2020. Is a most senior trainer and also serves as an examiner, Vivechak, and heads the class monitoring team. I request you, Didi, to please begin with the interpretation. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Anita Didi. Jai Shri Krishna. A very warm welcome to the session, all of you. It was a beautiful deep prajalan and a beautiful prayer. Before I begin with the discussion today, I would like to seek blessings of Swamiji and Shri Krishna himself. Hari Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranataklishanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Krathitam Purana Muninam Matye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavati Mashtadashatyayinim Amba Tvamanusandanami Bhagavad-gīte Bhavatveshini. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Hari Om. Before I begin, I wanted to confirm if my voice is coming, Anita Didi. Am I audible?
Yes, Didi, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay. Thank you, Didi. Thank you so much. A very warm welcome to the session, all of you again. And I hope I'm audible. So far we have seen some very beautiful shlokas of the second chapter, and today we start with the fourth part of this chapter, and we by now have understood the purpose of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. The purpose of this entire discussion that we are having here is not just to understand some philosophy. This entire Bhagavad Gita is to get a permanent solution on all the problems that we have in our life. Now, when I say so, I am very confidently saying this, that there is a permanent solution to all the problems, because basically, what is the root cause of all the problems? What are the different problems that we face in our life? All different problems arise from where? Because of the state of mind. All of you will agree with me that something is happening in your life and we end up feeling sad about it. That is the problem. We feel happy about something, we are dismissed with the failures and different, whatever, success, failure, somebody said something to me. Everything boils down to what? Everything boils down to one common aspect, and that is that our mind was unhappy. Something that bothered me, something disturbed me, and that is the main cause of all the problems. So, here, when I say that Bhagavad Gita is giving a solution to all our problems by correcting the mindset and making us happy all the time. So when somebody visits a doctor, what does he say? He will give you the appropriate medicine, he'll give you appropriate treatment depending on the illness, but first he has to find out what is the root cause, what is the problem, what is the symptom. Unless that is done, no doctor can give any treatment or any medicine. Similarly, here, what is the root cause? Shri Krishna has seen first that the root cause of this entire thing is the mental distress that Arjun had, and he is addressing that distress for all of us also. That distress is the root cause, and by the means of Sankhya Yoga, Shri Krishna is fixing that for us, and hence is providing us what? A permanent solution to our problems. We have seen that in the last session, we ended on a note where Shri Krishna is telling Arjun about a win-win situation, where whether you go ahead and fight, it is a win-win situation because you will get moksha because of two things. One, because this entire battle is happening where? In the war, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And secondly, by following your own swadharma, you will be, even if you end up losing the battle, and even if you end up, you know, um, giving up your life for this battle, you will die as a courageous, brave soldier, but warrior. And if you win, you will get a huge, beautiful, prosperous kingdom to reign upon. So, in any case, this is going to be what? It is going to be a win win situation. This is what Sri Krishna has convinced Arjun. And he says, in both situations, you have to understand that things you have to remain same. Now we he has told that tato yudhyaya yujjasva naivam papam vapsisi. If you do not go ahead with this war, then what will happen? You will incur sin. You are going to earn sin for yourself. While entering this war, while doing this act of battle, what kind of mindset will keep you away from these sins, will keep you free, sin free, is what Shri Krishna is going to discuss further. So we'll start with the next shloka. Esha te bhita sankhye buddhiryogi tvemam shru buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. So far, Shri Krishna has told us about the Sankhya Yoga. It is also popularly known as Jnana Yoga, where he has given the knowledge about Atma and other things. And now, what he is going to tell us is going to be related to Karma Yoga. Yoge Tvimam Shrunu, where he is using the word here yoga, he actually means the Karma Yoga. Okay, so Buddhir Yoge Tvimam Shrunu. Now, I'm going to tell you about Karma Yoga. And by knowing all this, what is going to happen? Buddhya Yukto Yaya Partha, by knowing this particular yoga that I'm going to tell you, Karma Yoga, what will happen? Karma Bandham Prahasyasi, you will be free from Karma Bandha. Now, what is this Karma Bandhan? Let us take a minute to understand this term, Karma Bandha. Bandha means anything that is a binding. Now, just imagine a rope. How is a rope? Just imagine, and even now we don't use too many ropes, but a rope is made up of many strings, isn't it? If you see a very thick rope, what it will be made of? It is made up of very fine strings or thin, the dried grass. The dried grass in itself doesn't have any strength. But when many dried grasses, strings of many dried grasses together are binded, they form a very sturdy rope which is very difficult to break. This is a similar thing that happens with our karma. What has happens? Karma means actions, whatever actions we do. The actions that we do, even on a daily basis, for instance, the women are cooking, the children are studying, men are going to the office. No matter who you are, you will be doing some or the other actions. Now, each action that we do leads us to some or the other desire. When a lady is cooking, for instance, there will be a desire that that cooking should get little appreciation. Once a while, I should get a break from cooking. The men who are earning, for them also, today I have this job. May I get a better job where I earn little more? May my, manager appreciate me? There is a desire for appreciation. There is a desire for fruits, and some people also have. I do so much for my family, and in return, what is my family? So there is this ego that I am doing a lot for my family. That ego is also there. So there are different things, and these are the different strings that we are talking about. So the action comes, so you assume each of the desire as a string. Now what happens? These desires together, they start getting entangled and form a very sturdy rope, and that becomes a binding. These desires together become a binding. The biggest tragedy of doing any action is that it keeps you trapped. One action will lead to another action. One action will lead to a desire. When the task, see how does our action become a trap, we have to understand. First, the work itself is trap. Suppose, for instance, you're doing some very prestigious job, and all of a sudden you've been asked, okay, for this particular meeting, don't preside that meeting, just take notes of some meeting. So you've been given a job which is little less, which is a little less than your designation. Whatever is the designation, it comes below that. Suppose we are taking Gita Parivar classes, and somebody is telling, okay, now leave this particular thing, just sit and become a sadhak again. Now that ego should not be there. That the work itself sometimes becomes this thing. This is not my work. My task is doing something nice. My task is, I am the president, why should I just do this? So the work itself becomes, I'm giving very small examples, but the work itself becomes a binding. Then sometimes waiting for the results, I have done so much studies and then written my paper, I have to top in the class, I have to get very good marks. Now having this kind of desire, you'll say, is so good. Yes, it is good, but more than the desire, what should be the focus? The focus should be on the action, that when I'm studying, I should study with full focus. That is what is in our hand. So when I'm going to office, this is what I should earn, this is what appreciation I should get, etc., etc. It comes with lot of sets of fruits. That fruits is the ego of waiting for the results, is another type of binding. Then ego of being doer, we have already seen. These types of different way an action will trap you. And from outside, what it looks like, it looks like as if the task is done. However, within us, what happens? We remain trapped to that particular action. And from any action, more desires come. From those desires, new actions happen. So on and so forth. And what happens? This ends up with countless number of births. Right now, we are sitting as some particular XYZ human being. We don't know how many times we have been in not only this birth as a human, in the human form, we have been born as so many other creatures. Why? Because that's we desired, in those desires we kept doing rounds and rounds in this cycle of death and birth. Now, how will this chain be broken? This is exactly what Shri Krishna tries to tell in the next few shlokas. Shri Krishna tells that to break this chain of desires and action, to break this chain of getting trapped in the actions, what we have to do? Convert our karma Karma means action. Convert your karma into karma yoga. Then you will be free from this cycle. You will be free from your jobs. Now, Shri Krishna tells we do karma as per our nature. How as per our nature we are doing our cycles. As our we are doing our karma. Then further, how to get freedom from all this? Shri Krishna is first explaining on how important it is to do your job. नेहा विक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् यह अभिक्रमनाशः न अस्ति. This entire cycle, it is going to be continuously happening, and we have seen that there is some amount of defect in this particular cycle because we are going to get stuck in it. And what Shri Krishna is telling, asya dharmasya swalpamapi mahatah bhayat trayate. If you are able to do the karma as per the karma yoga, then you will be able to what? Save yourself from big fears. Even if a small task is done in this particular way, in which way? As per karma yoga, then you will be saved from bigger fears. Small example I'll tell you. If we all pay taxes, now if the tax is paid within a particular year, within that financial year, then you will be saved of lot of trouble later, isn't it? Similarly, studies now, if the children now, it's December, and if our final exams beginning in March and April, if you study in these 2-3 months, then the last minute trouble will be saved, isn't it? So you have to study within a particular time, time all the tasks should be done, then we will be saved from what? Saved from different troubles, different types of fears. Hence, Shri Krishna says that first you make a resolution that you want to act according to your dharma, your swadharma, and convert your karma, convert your actions into karma yoga. And once you decide to do that all the things, once you decide that you will be able to, that all the karma that you are doing is going to be according to karma yoga, we will understand what is karma yoga. But Shri Krishna says, once you decide that you will be doing the karma according to this karma yoga, then you will be completely free from all fears. Fears of what? Fears of what is going to be the result of these actions. Fear of what is it that is in store for me further. So what Shri Krishna is telling, that you have to develop that kind of correct intellect, buddhi, that kind of correct intellect you have to do, such that your karma gets transformed into karma yoga. And once this kind of karma yoga you start doing, even a smallest task, Gyaneshwar Maharaj says ati sukshma, if you task also, if you end up doing in this particular way, then what will happen? You will be free from all the different types of problems. Now for this, here he is also mentioning about the intellect. To convert anything into proper karma yoga, you have to resolve, you have to decide that this I have to do. And only when that decision is made, then you will be able to achieve freedom from all the actions. And for that, Shri Krishna is telling that you have to develop a particular type of intellect. What is that type of intellect? That is called Nishchayatmika Buddhi. Nishchayatmika Buddhi, it is, another name is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. And Shri Krishna first prepares the correct background, prepares a background for developing the right intellect to have this kind of karma yoga. What Shri Krishna tells in respect to the intellect is very important. Vyavasayatmika buddhire, Vyavasayatmika buddhire keha kuru nandanam, Bahushakhayanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. What we have to do? First, we have to resolve. Resolve what? That I am going to take the path of Karma Yoga, because this is the only thing that is going to free us from this trouble of trouble of getting trapped in the actions. If this resolve is not done, then what will happen? If we do not resolve to follow the karma yoga, what will happen? There will be numerous occasions that will be coming up in the life which are going to deviate you from the path of karma yoga. That is what is Sri Krishna trying to explain in this particular shloka. So very important. Here he says vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha means what? That vyavasayatmika buddhi, the intellect which resolves that I have to follow karma yoga, is unidirectional. It will be what? Focused on what? That I am going to follow the karma yoga. I am going to do my actions in a particular way that they do not trap me further. So I'm making a resolve, and it's a very beautiful thing. See, suppose you light now lamps. When we light lamps for Diwali, those small diyas, if you see the jyot, the wick is very small. And the jyot is also very small, but it brings so much beauty to the room in complete darkness. If that one lamp is lit, it is going to do what? It is going to brighten up and beautify the environment around. Similarly, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, this intellect, it is like that small light, which is going to drive away the darkness from your lives. It is going to drive away the darkness that is trapping us in our actions. This one particular intellect, this lightening of this intellect within us is going to free us from different types of traps. Having understood this, we have to resolve that we are going to follow this karma yoga. So first he says, make a firm resolve, nishchayatmika buddhi. First you make a firm resolve that I am going to follow this particular karma yoga. Those who have not resolved to follow this, how is their intellect? Shri Krishna is explaining. Now, when we are going towards karma yoga, see this entire chapter, first half, if you say, there are lots of things in this chapter, okay, but if you ask me a broad categorization of this chapter, three important parts come in this chapter. The first part that we saw was focused on Atma Gyan. That was the knowledge of Atma. Now, gradually, Shri Krishna is taking us from Atma Gyan towards what? Karma Yoga. And after telling us about the Karma Yoga, gradually towards the end of the chapter, we are going to see the characteristics of Sthita Prajna. This is the broad structure of this particular chapter. In this chapter, before we enter into Karma Yoga, Shri Krishna is telling that a person should resolve to have Nishchayatmika Buddhi. From the perspective of we as sadhaks, we as our perspective, we have, what do we have in this shloka for us? We have to do a self-introspection as to which category am I in? Is my intellect in the first category, which is ekeha buddhi, which is focused, which is unidirectional, or is my intellect falling in the second category? What is the second category that Shri Krishna has told? Bahushakhayananta. Bahushakhayanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Here it looks like buddhayo. This avagraha is extremely important because here the word is buddhayaha avyavasayinam. So vyavasayatmika buddhi ekahi means it is just one, but avyavasayinam buddhi, the one which is opposite, which is not focused, which does not help you resolve. It is bahushaka, means multi-dimensional in our language. Means what? It wants to do this also, it wants to do another thing also. It is going to have many resolutions. I want to get a good job. Then at the same time, I also want to get married. I also want to keep my children happy. Also want a long life. I also want to learn Bhagavad Gita. So many facets it's going to have. And gradually what happens? These sentiments, they get converted into what? Desires and actions. And these actions further occupy the entire mind, and everything will, what will happen? Gradually the mind will remain focused only on what? On the actions, on the desires. Gradually it is going to fill your mind with lots of desires, lots of actions, lots of things, lot of mm, traps basically, which is again going to leave you with no peace of mind. And such minds will tend to become fickle, and they cannot purposefully concentrate on one particular thing. So too many things will be coming up. Now when I'm talking about vyavasayatmika buddhi, here what Shri Krishna is going to, it is not told yet, but what it is going, he's going to tell in the further chapters. This is the buddhi, which will, this is the intellect that will help you focus on your actions by thinking about God. So I'm doing this action, I'm taking care of my family, but my focus is what? On attaining the ultimate God. And when we talk about Bahushakha Buddhi, how it is, I am supposed, for small example we take, morning people will worship, how they are worshipping. Ideally, how should a worship be? Your entire mind should be focused on the God is sitting in front of you. How people worship nowadays, there will be a phone beside them, the people are working behind them, the some dadis in the family we have seen, they'll be are khana ban gaya kya, while doing the puja. Some men, they'll be working, they'll be doing the worship, they'll be doing the puja, and in between the puja, main aa hi raha hu, bas I'm just ready, I'm coming 2 minutes, just finishing off the puja. Finishing off the puja, is this the level of concentration? So what is happening? Bahushakha, the mind should be focused on the puja, on the worship, but what is happening? The entire mind is where? In the actions that are going to follow. Is that worship something that is, so this, even if worship we are doing, worship is what? Doing puja of God. Now that also we are doing with so much distraction. Then imagine what about the other actions? The other actions which we should do with God in our mind, where are we going to focus our minds on? When we have to think about God while doing other actions also. You are in level 4, you have seen the Vivechan sessions, the meanings of other shlokas which comes in the remaining chapters. We know that all actions should be focused with keeping the mind and keeping God in the mind. And but when we are supposed to be thinking about God only, we are thinking about other actions. Recently there was this World Cup, no? And I saw some children in our community and all, how they were doing their studies. Next day they have a test. How many runs? Okay, no, I'm studying. Just, but how many runs? Beside, nowadays they all study on laptop and all, a small pop-up showing the runs. How many runs Australia is making? How many runs India is making? So this is the kind of focus with which the children are studying. This is the kind of focus with which people are working nowadays. This is Bahushakha. When an action is being done, it is focusing on so many different things, and then such an intellect which is focusing on so many different things, it is going to have no peace of mind. This is what Sri Krishna is trying to explain, that our intellect should be correct. Our intellect should be how? Now where it has to focus, all that detail is going to come further. But first, Nishchayatmika Buddhi, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, unidirectional and focused intellect is what is required. Because that kind of intellect focuses only on one thing, only on the objective it is supposed to work on. However, the other intellects, which are multidimensional, they keep thinking about different things, and what happens? The mind, and because of this, the mind and behavior of people changes. The mind starts getting obsessed to different kinds of desire. And then it becomes very difficult to free yourself from this kind of turmoil. So what we have to understand, Shri Krishna says that you have to have vyavasayatmika buddhi. Hmm? In any task which is done without this kind of intellect, any intellect which is not focused, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says it is durbuddhi only, means it is an intellect not worth having. So your intellect should be vyavasayatmika buddhi, and whatever you are going to do, you have to do with a correct type of intellect. Now, how does our intellect get spoiled? Now, there are some people who give, different examples and say, this is important, that is important. How misinterpretation of facts, misinterpretation of our scriptures. Many people, will say, see, this is my job, this is my, they will justify all the chaos around them. They'll justify not being focused on one task using different types of, by giving different excuses. And for giving these excuses also, what they will do, they will use scriptures as the basis to give different excuses. How a person's intellect gets spoiled, Shri Krishna is explaining in the next three shlokas, which is very important from an introspective perspective. As I told you that when we are learning these shlokas, we have to understand their meanings, and also what is the motive that we have at Gita Parivar. Not only just to read Bhagavad Gita, not only to teach Bhagavad Gita, Gita padhe, padhai aur jeevan mein laye. We will be able to get it in our lives only if we introspect our own intellect, introspect our own behavior, and then understand. So for the next three shlokas, when we are looking, we all, there is an, even for me also, everybody ends up saying, this is the character. We start analyzing people around us as to, do they have these characteristics? Does my dadi do puja like this? Does my husband behave like? Forget about all of them. Think about yourself. Is this the way you are doing your task? In the next three shlokas also, keep an attitude of introspection and let's try to walk through the next three shlokas. What Shri Krishna is explaining. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipaschitaha वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदाम् क्रियाविशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया परतचेतसाम् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. In the 41st shloka, what Shri Krishna has told, that we have to have a vyavasayatmika buddhi, focused intellect we have to develop amongst ourselves. And in these shlokas, Shri Krishna is telling about what are those things which are going to prohibit the development of this kind of an intellect. One is the pushpitam vacham. Pushpitam vacham. What is the meaning of this word pushpitam vach? Pushpitam vach means the sweet talk. What? See, in these three verses, Shri Krishna is talking about which type of people. First, we have to understand the ones whose buddhi is avyavasayatmika, the one in the second category of intellect. Who is not able to focus on anything. Their intellect runs in multiple directions at the same time. This kind of people Shri Krishna is talking about. And how they think, what is it that they are taking from our scriptures? That is what Shri Krishna is explaining. How they think and what is it that they are driven by. So, यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्य विपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः. Here Shri Krishna is telling what they see in Vedas and scriptures. Now, this is very important. Firstly, a disclaimer. that we are going to understand these shlokas. When we are trying to understand these shlokas, don't think that there is in any way the knowledge which is given in our scriptures is being demeaned or it is being looked down upon. Here, when we are comparing two things, okay, when we are comparing a diamond with glass, we are not trying to say that a glass is something inferior. Okay, glass has its own potential, though diamond is extremely precious, but that doesn't make glass any less important in our lives, isn't it? Similarly, when we are talking about what these people are seeking in scriptures, don't think that it is in any way underestimating what is being explained in scriptures. This one thing we have to have firmly in our mind. It is extremely important for us to live our life as directed by the Vedas. But what people with this multi-directional intellect do, they will seek examples from Vedas, and they will utilize all that information only to fulfill their own desires, because their intellect is driven by desires, completely driven by desires. And so what will happen, because their intellect is completely intellect is driven by their desires, what is going to happen? All that they study in the scriptures is to fulfill only these worldly desires. Vedas teach us how to live life happily, but what happens, the human beings get stuck to that part of happiness and only their personal happiness, but do not focus on others. So selective listening, you must have heard this term, selective listening. That way they have a very selective interpretation of the scriptures. So even when we are doing worshipping or any other things, what do people focus on the falashruti? By chanting this shloka, the particular thing, the particular fruit, this will give you intellect. Say Sri Sukta and you will get wealth. Sing this chant this particular shloka, chant this mantra to get this particular, to get the entire sadhana, the entire worship, the entire means of worshipping or praising has become what? A means to get something. This is a problem. This is the pushpitam vacha. So it means only the good part. Selectively see the good part. They cannot discriminate between what is real, what is unreal, what is the perishable, what is imperishable. All the flowery words they of the Vedas, they will be using of Vedas, scriptures, all they will be using for what? Attainment of pleasure and prosperity. Here, the word pushpitam has been used to show what? That's this kind of speech is just flowery. It is only attractive, but it is not going to bear any permanent fruit. We have to understand. And in the next shlokas, what Shri Krishna says, Kamatpana Swargapara Janma Karma Phala Pradam, means what happens now? These desires ultimately become the root cause of Janma Karma Phala, means they are going to put you in this vicious circle of births and desires again. This is what is going to happen. So this is an important thing that Shri Krishna is telling. And we have to understand this, that these three shlokas, so understanding or interpreting the scriptures only to fulfill your own desires, interpreting the scriptures only from that perspective, and doing puja etc only to kamat manas swargapara. What is the meaning of this word swargapara? All these actions, recently we had Diwali. In that also, when the scriptures say that you have to get up early and take a bath. Now how it has been, if you don't take bath before the sunrise, then you will go to the narak, otherwise you will go to swarg. Now this motivation is correct to be going towards swarga, but that should not be the only driving cause. That should not be your final destination. That is not the only thing that a person should seek. That is what we have to understand. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Bhogaishwarya Gatim Prati. What is this? Whatever, Kriya Vishesha Bahulam, whatever actions are done, they are, it is used as if this is what, from this particular action, I'm going to get this particular fruit. All actions are what? Fruit driven. And this is the biggest problem. So Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam, here there are some adjectives which are used for this kind of people. What are those adjectives? Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam. They are deeply attached to what? To the worldly desires, towards enjoying all these worldly temptations. Taya Parita Chetasam. Aparita Chetasam means whose minds are drawn away from what? The God, from the real purpose of the life. And here Shri Krishna is telling, for such people, what is going to happen? Vyavasayatmika buddhis samadhau navidhiyate. Navidhiyate means it is never going to get fixed, not going to settle in them. Samadhau means in their mind. In their mind, what is not going to happen? The Vyavasayatmika buddhi, the determinate intellect that we were talking about, which is going to give them focused, which is going to give them uh, on a correct track. That kind of intellect will not be attained by whom? These kind of people. Which kind of people? Those which have been described here. Who are completely engrossed in desires, those who are completely carried away by the worldly desires. Such people derive all, and just to fulfill their own desires, they will justify also all these desires, all these actions, they'll justify by using different facts from the Vedas, the scriptures, and everything. They'll misinterpret or interpret only that particular part of the scriptures. Now Krishna is going to inspire Arjun to attain that ideal state where you do not fall in this particular category. He says, first, we have seen that he wants us to have the right intellect, and he has explained us what are the obstacles in getting that particular intellect. What are those obstacles? Our excessive attachment to the worldly desire is the main obstacle we have to understand in fixing our intellect. And Shri Krishna tells how you can go beyond this state. In the next shloka, Shri Krishna explains how you can go beyond this state and establish yourself with the eternal divine existence of the God. What Shri Krishna explains in this context is Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nityasattvastho Niryogakshematmavan. We have to understand this thing. Now, we already know, we have seen the 14th chapter, the three gunas, the three states, Rajogun, Tamogun, and at this particular time in the Bhagavad Gita, this has not been explained to Arjun. But what Sri Krishna has done, the first prastavna, you can say, the first time he has introduced this word about Traigunya, about the Prakriti being Trigunatmika, the Prakriti having these three attributes, is this place where he says that you understand that even the Vedas have these three attributes. Now, again, when we are trying to understand this, we have to understand in its correct form. Vedas is the ultimate guide to a happy life. And now it has been given to the humans in a way that you can get whatever you want from this life, how whatever you need, what is essential for us to lead a life, all that is explained in the Vedas. Now if we are driven by desires, then we will seek what? We will seek the Rajoguni part of the Vedas. There are some Tamo Gunis with Vidyas also, people who are seeking that will seek that part. And for Sattva Guni people, we will see the Brahma Gyan, which is also a part of the Vedas. So Vedas are consisting of everything. They have all the knowledge. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. But what you have to do, Arjun, you have to be Nistraigunya Bhava, Arjuna. You have to be free from all these three gunas. This is the same thing Sri Krishna has explained to Arjun even in the 14th chapter, when after completing the entire discourse, he is telling what you have to become. He's explaining that you have to go beyond these gunas and you have to become a gunatit. Sri Krishna is telling Arjun the same thing here. You become free from all the gunas. Now, all these three attributes. Which attributes? The Rajogun, Sattvagun, Tamogun, all these three attributes, you be free. Now, in this, Shri Krishna is asking Arjun for different things. There are different, you can say, orders by Shri Krishna. One is Nistraigunyo Bhava. That you be free from these attributes, that be free from the effects of Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. And to attain that, what we have to do? We have to inculcate, establish in ourselves the entire second line of this shloka. And what is that? Nirdvandvaha. Nitya Sattvastha, the second category. Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. All these things you have to be inculcate in yourself. What Sri Krishna says, Nirdvandva. Dvandva, we have seen this earlier also. Dvandva is the conflicts in the life, Sukha Dukkha. When something happy happens, won the match, all 10 matches our country won, we were so happy, so much celebration, exhilarated everybody was, and lost the final. So much sadness, so much distress. So in both situations, these are conflicting situations, success and failure, win and loss, happiness and sadness, sukha, dukkha. All these are what conflicting situations of your life. In both situations, nirdvandva means you have to be beyond these situations, beyond these particular um, beyond these beyond the results of such situations. We Shri Krishna has already told that the basic foundation is what? The basic foundation is samatva. Be same in these particular, in these two contradicting situations. Nitya sattvastha. Now this advice to the previous advice was what? To rise above the pairs of opposite. And what, when will you be able to do that? When you will be able to establish yourself in what? The God, in everlasting divine supreme power. Nitya sattvastha. Here the word sattva is not in the terms of just the sattva gun, okay? It is in the term of the supreme power, the supreme omnipresent power which is existing everywhere. Continuously keep your mind affixed in that particular divine uh, divine power in God. Niryoga Kshema and Atmavan. Niryoga Kshema. Here Sri Krishna is telling you have to free yourself from what? The thoughts of acquisition and preservation. Means what? I want to get this. I want to, I have to accumulate so much wealth, accumulate, keep accumulating. How is the human tendency? Keep accumulating. Even a family of just two people have so much accumulated in their houses nowadays. We have this thing of so many things are available in the market and we want every other thing in our house. And then preserving it, whether you need it or you don't need it. Just because my neighbor has it, I have it. Continuously acquiring and keeping those things which you don't even need. You have to be free from this entire process of, unnecessarily accumulating all things around you. So many Atmavan, be established in self. Ultimately we have to ultimately attain the knowledge of what Atma. So have an aim of realization of God, get established in yourself and have that realization of God. And for Shri Krishna is explaining that this is how your state has to be, this is how you should be. You have to be beyond these three gunas. And Shri Krishna gives a very beautiful example also, that of how this kind of person who is established with the with God, how is a person who has inculcated all these characteristics, the one who doesn't get affected in contradictory situations, the one who is always stable in all kinds of situation, the one who is continuously focused in God, who is Atmavan. How does a person like this remain unfazed? How does he remain untouched? How is this going to happen? Shri Krishna gives a very beautiful example for this in the next shloka. He says, Yavanartha udapani sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Here Shri Krishna is telling also about a very important thing. First, let's understand the example that Shri Krishna is telling us. He says, Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake. Means, suppose you find a beautiful pond of a beautiful pond. Okay, or if you see a beautiful water, so just imagine yourself, near the river Ganga. At that particular time, will you remember a small pot full of water that is present in your home? No, right? So similarly, Shri Krishna says that when you have a beautiful pond in your in or a reservoir in front of you, will you think, or of a small pot of water or a puddle that you might have seen when it is the summer season? We all value water so much because at that point of time water is very scarce, huh? And then every drop seems important. And in the rainy season we see ourselves also, there's so much water everywhere, hmm, that there is no problem, we do not think about anything. When there is flood, who is going to think about the flood puddles? Then similarly, just like that, tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanata, the one who knows all the Vedas, the one who knows everything, they will not think about these small things. Hmm? For instance, now suppose you somebody is the chief minister of a state, and then they in after one election, now they don't want to continue. When you go and ask them, okay, you're not the chief minister, no, would you like to be the corporator of the particular area now? How would that be? Somebody somebody who has been a chief minister or a home minister or some very worthy minister, will they go back to be being a corporator? It's election time, so I got example this thing that all of a sudden if they are being told to work like a corporator, will they be able to do? No. Will they like to do? That is the main question. No. So suppose you tell the vice chancellor of a university to go back and become a primary teacher. Oh, then will they, agree to it? No. So somebody who is free from all the gunas, somebody who has attained the Brahma Jnana, Brahmanasya, so somebody who has the knowledge of the Brahmand, everything they have know, such a person will not value these small worldly things. That is the essence of this particular shloka. So once you have the bigger picture, once you have the eternal knowledge, then these small things are not going to make any difference to you. And This is a very important thing. Once you are determined, once your intellect determines that I have to attain that knowledge, once your intellect is determined that I have to get the right knowledge and convert my karma into karma yoga, and with that particular mindset, we have to step in this. Here Shri Krishna has told the importance of the intellect. Here Shri Krishna has explained the importance of karma yoga, and then Shri Krishna in the next shloka, a very beautiful, a very popular shloka follows this. And here Shri Krishna is explaining the qualifying, the basic qualification of the karma yoga. What Shri Krishna explains is very beautiful, and now explained in a very popular shloka. He says, "Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भूर् मा ते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि." One of the most important verses of the Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. As per this is a very important verse, this is also one of the most misinterpreted verse of Shri Krishna. One common interpretation that we have is that you have only the rights on your karma, on your deeds. But this is not the actual correct interpretation. Well, we have to, before we understand this particular shloka, it is extremely important to understand the word adhikar in Sanskrit. Now, what we do here nowadays, because hame adhikar hai in languages like Hindi, Marathi, and all the other languages, the adhikar is in terms of rights. So many people interpret this shloka as if it is our right to do actions, but that is not the correct meaning. We have to understand the correct meaning of the word adhikar is eligibility. You are qualified only to do actions. You adhikar doesn't mean that you have right only on the deeds. You are qualified. You are eligible only to do actions. That, and see, just by understanding this word correctly, you will get the entire meaning of this shloka in the right essence. What it says, karmanye vadhikaraste, a person, whoever it is, any creature, what right you have? Karmanye vadhikaraste. It is not the right. A person is eligible only to do the duties. Our eligibility is only up till doing the actions, only up to performing the duties. Ma phaleshu kadachana. But we are not eligible to think about the fruits of any action. We do not qualify to think about the results of our actions. This is a very important takeaway of this particular shloka. And when you understand this, understand two more things about actions. One is, once the action is done, you are bound to get its result. The results are going to come whether you want it or you don't want it. Okay, so Dhritarashtra says, I don't want to see the war. Whether you want to see the war or you don't want to see the war, the results of the war are going to come. The results of what is the lose or win is going to happen. Simple. Once the exam is given, once you appear for any exam, then either you are going, you want it or not, your result is going to happen. Every time we are going to do an action, we have to. So many people, they will say, I want to just run away from this place. No matter where you run away, your result is going to be same, because whatever you are going to face here, you are going to face it everywhere, because whatever we are facing is a result of our actions. So that is imperative. And if you have not done it, this is there, that if you have not done it, the actions will not come. And it is never going to happen. A corollary of this is that something you have not done, nothing is going to come for free. So if some people say, Pata nahi kya hai, they are, no, somebody has got too many riches and no, he's born blessed. No, he's born blessed because he has done something that has given him the birth. Many people, उसका क्या है, उसको तो ऐसे ही मिल जाता है. No, we have to understand that उसको कैसे भी मिला है, no matter how that person has got it, it is not like that. नहीं किया और मिल गया फल, that never happens. That we have not done an action and we have got it, it is not like that. Whatever is coming to you by luck also is a result of your past deeds. So at any point of time, if you feel that that I have to work so hard because I am not very rich, that person is so rich, he is not working, he is rich because in some life, in some birth, he has done and attained that richness as a part. It is like, he has attained that credit. He has so he has attained that credit and attained that kind of balance of what? Karma. So it never happens that how true this one thing, that once your action is done, you will get it results. If you have not done any action, the result, if that particular thing is not going to come to you. So here what is very important that Shri Krishna is telling is you are eligible only to do the actions. And remember one more thing, that human birth is the only birth in which you can do actions to get a sin or a blessing. Okay, so what you are doing is extremely important. All other births, all other yonis are bhoga yonis. An animal will eat and just whatever they have earned in the past as a human being, they are going to just get the fruits of that. But what actions we do, be very mindful. So this entire karma shastra, Swamiji says that all this karma shastra what is being made is made for humans alone. So it's very important, it's very essential that we understand this particular karma shastra, that whatever these few things about the karma, about actions that we are trying to understand in Bhagavad Gita, it is very, very important. And when he's saying that your eligibility is only up to doing actions, you do not qualify to think about the result. Here, also understand the corollaries. When you will get the result, where you will get the results, how the results will come to you, in what quantity the results are going to come to you. All this, forget about getting it. Even to know this, you are not eligible, because what we know only what is what has happened by our hands in this birth. But from so many births, we have been in this circle of actions that we don't even know. There is a jumbo cosmic computer where all the account of our actions is kept. We don't even know what it is that has given rise to this. There are many beautiful stories. Now there's no time for this story, but if time permits, I'll tell you about one rishi, Markandeya rishi. Here how he got some trouble in his life, and just to understand that why he suffered this, he went to Yamaraj to find out what action in this birth I have not done any sin, what action of my past has given me this kind of pain. He had went and asked Yamaraj. So there are some very beautiful stories around this, and we will see such stories at many places in our scriptures. So we have to always understand that whenever a result is coming, you have to understand it is Hari Ichha, it is the result. We are not even qualified to understand or react on this particular um, mm, results. And when we are saying that we do not qualify to talk about the results, we have to understand that whatever, how do we keep ourselves immune from all this, then it is for that what Sri Krishna tells, two more sutra, ma karma phala hetur bhur mate sangostva karmani. For that what you have to do, should not get um, moved by the fruits of. You should not get moved by the fruits of the action. And how will that come? By detaching yourself. Sango Swakarmani. You have to detach yourself from the fruits and akarmani. Now, just because I don't have any rights over the results of an action, don't become akarmani. Don't become, somebody who will not do any actions. This is also very important. Hmm? Do not think that you, because and no matter what, there are some people who say, I don't feel like doing anything. There is nothing like I cannot do anything. If you are doing nothing and just sitting with your phone, that is also some action. Okay. So this is, there is nothing called a karma. There is nothing in no perspective. You cannot be not doing anything. So we have to focus on what? We have to focus on doing the best actions without thinking about the results. So this is what has to change. This attitude has to change. All actions are imperative, and the whole cycle of actions is having some kinds of defects we have seen. And for that, Sri Krishna has given some very important sutras in this particular shloka. And then after this comes a very beautiful shloka. uh, I'll take a little extra time and we'll go through this very important and beautiful shloka. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatmai yoga uchyate. This is a very beautiful shloka, and this is an extremely important shlok also. Hmm. What Sri Krishna asserts here is equanimity. Equanimity in success and failure is the most important thing. What kind of sentiment should we develop in our mind? We have to develop a sentiment of equanimity. In what? In contradictory situations. What Sri Krishna is telling here is Yoga Kuru Karmani. Yogastha means who is, stha means steadfast, established. In what? Yoga. Here it means karma yoga. You have to establish yourself in a particular mindset. And what is that mindset? Mindset of equanimity. And how that will happen? That will come by sangan tyaktva. By what? Abandoning, discarding what? Attachment. When we are parents, we are doing the best for our children, but at the behind the curtains, behind all these action, there is a hidden, when I become old, this, my children will in turn do this for me. This kind of expectation is what? Attaching you to your karma. It is. And so many times I hear children, people saying, I don't know, we have done so much for our parents, we don't know what our children will do. Why this topic? Be a good parent. Beyond that, sangan tyaktva, then leave all the attachment. Dhananj, siddhya siddhyo. What is siddhi and asiddhi? The success and failure. Siddhi, I have done a particular task, whether I am succeeding in that or not, whether I fail in that, whether it is success or a failure. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Be same in the situation of a success or a failure. No matter what my children are doing for me, I will do what is best. No matter what I get in return from this sadhana. Many people, when we try to talk to them as Gita Pracharak, what will I get by learning Bhagavad Gita? What you want? Huh? Whether what you are getting, that when a person with that kind of attitude will not, be able to focus on getting the best out of this entire human life itself. So, Siddhya Siddhyor Samo Bhutva Samatvani Yoga Uchyate. When Shri Krishna is telling Yogasthak, what he has told. First, he's told about many things. What he's saying, Yogasthak Kuru Karmani. So he's telling, be established in yoga and then do your action. Yogasthak Karmani Kuru. The first order is Kuru. do actions. How you have to do action? By being yogastha, by being established in yoga. And then the question comes, what is yoga? Shri Krishna answers that immediately in the second line. What he says, Samatvai Yoga Uchyate. The Samata, the equanimity, our balance is yoga. Our balance is what? Balance in everything. See, for small things, just like if you go to purchase gold, the goldsmith is so careful about weighing, not even 1 centimeter, forget it, not 1 millimeter also the balance should go there. We are so careful in balancing. Even the vegetable vendors nowadays, 1 kg here and there, so much investment into that balancing. And our own actions, we are not thinking about any balance there. It is so important to have a balance there. Balancing ourselves in the in this is very important. That balance itself comes from what? Yoga. That balance, yoga samatvai yoga uchyate. That is the samata, the equanimity is yoga. And where Swamiji tells two very important things here, which I feel like sharing with you. When he's saying Yogasthak Kuru Karmani, Swamiji tells two important things. When you are doing yoga, when you are doing actions in these two ways, one has to think about two things. One is being very, whenever you are doing any action, do with lots of concentration. For that, Swamiji has quoted a very beautiful story of Swami Dattatreya. He says that he had 24 gurus, and amongst from anybody he would learn anything. One day he says he has seen, he quotes an example of a person who was making a arrow. He was designing a bow and arrow, and he was so busy with that Bhagwan was observing him from a distance. And when this person was working, there was a huge Shobha Yatra. What is a Shobha Yatra? A huge procession of a king was passing by. Now, kings of that time were very wealthy, prosperous, and an entire procession passed from beside this worker. But he was so busy that he didn't even look up to look at the procession. He was so busy with his work. And after the entire procession passed away, people from the village came and asked, "Oh, did you see the procession? Did you see that Shobha Yatra of king?" He said, "Procession? I don't know." And that is when he realized that some big procession has passed by this road. Till then, he didn't even realize. And Bhagwan Dattatreya, there he mentions that this level of concentration, this is the ekagrata. And how we work nowadays, studying, tuck tuck mobile, WhatsApp, eternal distraction everybody has on. And now, no matter where you're working, eternal that distraction, even while cooking. Now, video, YouTube, WhatsApp, everywhere we need. Sitting in the traveling, nowhere that concentration is there. Swamiji says always that ekagrata, when we are seeing yogasthak kuru karmani, to attain this state, one important thing is ekagrata, concentration. And another important thing Swamiji says is savdhanata, that is cautiousness, vigilance. As students, now we were talking about exams sometime back, and as cautiousness, now I have studied a lot, I've studied so much. Now, with full concentration, also I studied. But I went for the exam, and today was I've studied full for physics exam. And in the examination room, I realized the paper is of maths. Then what to do? This is then that entire ekagrata, entire hard work gone for it. Also, everything has to be done with cautiousness. So Swamiji adds this very important two things, that all to become a yogastha, to become a yogi, concentration and cautiousness and vigilance are extremely important. With all this, we have to assimilate all the with full concentration, with full saudhanta. We do not have to misinterpret whatever we are going to learn. This question comes to us for what? That we don't misinterpret all that we are learning. Huh? Suppose so tomorrow people will say, whatever result I got, Hari Icha that I didn't pass in the exam. No. Everything, whatever efforts you have to do with full cautiousness. With complete savdhanta, we have to assimilate all these principles within us. That two important things we have to understand, and further we have to understand what Shri Krishna is telling. Durena havaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanamannvichya kripana phalahetavaha. Shri Krishna is told about two things. One is buddhi yoga and karma yoga. What Shri Krishna is explaining here, that all people who do not take the refuge of the buddhi yoga, they are they are very helpless. Those who are completely busy, those who entertain themselves in various desires, and while performing different actions, they become so helpless, they cannot focus on anything, but they will be focusing on the wrong things, and the yoga doesn't come to them. We will see the further very beautiful description of the karma yoga and of how to attain all this yoga in the next particular in the upcoming shlokas. Very beautiful. Shri Krishna is going to give us the beautiful things, beautiful shlokas we are going to see in the next shloka. While we are going to see the next shlokas, we will also try to understand that what is the basic, always remember, basic qualifying thing that Shri Krishna has told about samatva. Taking these lessons in our mind, we will study the next shlokas. I wanted to complete 2 more shlokas today, but I think I'll take a pause and we'll take them up in the next session. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I offer this entire discussion at the feet of Param Puja Swami Govindev Giriji Maharaj and Shri Krishna himself. Hari Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so much, Didi, for explaining the details of the meanings of the shlokas with such beautiful examples and make us understand them so properly. Thank you once again. An important statement and invitation. It is not an exaggeration to call the Gita the pillar of Sanatan Dharma. Gita Jayanti is on 22nd December. It is a great opportunity to promote the importance of our Sanatan culture. In this context, we are obliged to you, all brothers and sisters who are lovers of Gita, that we should stand united in its propagation with all our powers and make good use of this opportunity. Let's celebrate the Gita Jayanti with Diwali-like pomp and show our faith and gratitude towards the Sanatan culture. Thank you. I now request the sadhaks who want to ask your queries to please raise your hand and on your cameras. The Shraddha Didi will guide you by answering them.
Jai Shri Krishna, Komal Didi. Pranam. Please unmute yourself, Komal Didi. Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna. My question is that just as the various organs of a body we can point out, they are actually a physical organ. But what is Atma? Where is Atma inside a body?
That is the whole thing. The Atma is, see, this is why we are able to see the organs. But what is the first thing that we had seen about Atma? Avyakta. It cannot be seen. How can I point it in my? It cannot be seen. It cannot it is achintya, avyakta. Something that is achintya, avyakta. How can we point it in our body? Now this is a limitation of what? This is a limitation of our brain, that we still think about doing its chintan, isn't it? When you are saying I want to see where it is in my body, means you are trying to again imagine it in some particular form. It is the jyot. It is, now you will say, where is this jyot? It is, the light is within us, and that is what the entire process of meditation is all about. It is not only within us, it is sarva vyapi. It is also beyond us. So
Okay.
These
It is all
we have to
pervading,
see
like all pervading.
it's all pervading. It's all pervading,
Okay.
and
Means
because it
in
doesn't
our
have
body also. In our body also,
in
it is
our
all
body also
pervading.
it is all pervading. The entire chetna, my hand is moving, my mouth is talking. Where am I getting the entire energy from? Basically, the entire energy. We cannot say, if I want to say, I decide that this light is in front of me, I want to see the electricity. Can you see? Can you
No,
tell
no.
me which part of the light that electricity is in? No, right? Similar is the case with chetna. We cannot point it. And why we are given all these characteristics? Because we cannot point to it. These all are just to understand its, can't even say structure, just to understand its nature. That's the minimum we can understand.
Power. Okay. The pran the atma.
Pran is not the atma. Pran is a
Not
part
the
of the
atma.
prakriti. Okay, it is not the
Okay.
atma.
Okay. Okay. And it is given, no, that the God is situated in the heart of each and every living creature. So then
See, now
again,
when we say heart, hridaya tishtati, that is correct. Now, when we say heart, because heart is the very, source of life in our,
okay,
in a, that is why
body.
hrideshi rajuna tishtati. Yeah. Because if the heart is not working, then the body becomes a body, in a different sense. So that is
Yeah,
why
lifeless.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, it becomes lifeless. So that is why, because the closest we can get to being alive is through heart, right? So if other all organs are working and the heart doesn't work, so that is why we say that the energy is coming from there, and that is how. But ideally, if you see, it is the chetna. It cannot be seen, and I cannot even say it is all pervading, and at the same time it is achintya, avyakta, so we cannot say where exactly it is.
Yeah. They say our body is made up of panch kosh. Panch
Body
kosh
is
hote
made
na.
of panchkosh. Yes, body is
And
made up.
within the last kosh, which is the Anandmay kosh, they say the Atma is in
Yes,
that area. So
yes. Atma is in that kosh. And to be able to come, so you, now that I've understood that you know about the Annamay kosh,
yeah,
Manomay kosh, so
Pranmay,
many layers.
Annamay,
It is like
Pranmay, Manomay. Yeah.
Pranmay. And then
Hmm.
so see, Pranmay kosh means Pran is different from
Not
the
yeah,
Chetna,
yeah.
isn't
Atma.
it?
Yeah,
Okay, now you
yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It is like,
yeah.
if you see, so it is so much within. And now you are asking me that where is the Atma? You are talking about Anandamay Kosh, and how will I find it in Annamay Kosh? Isn't it when all our organs are there? It is Annamay Kosh. You are asking me where in this? It is wrong question,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No,
Definitely.
yeah.
No, no.
Actually,
I'm
while
not
doing
saying wrong question
meditation,
also.
yeah. I was
I mean
clearing
to
my
say
this.
your answer
Uh,
lies in the question, in your own answer.
yeah. Actually, while
So
meditation, I
basically,
had
your
some.
question's answer also is given by you only.
Actually, what
That
during
sorry,
meditation,
I'm sorry. I kept you.
I have found out some experiences. I've gone through some experiences. So I was just trying to understand whether they are real or I'm having some imagination. All this, what you spoke about, I've got those experiences, but I just wanted to confirm all this. Yeah.
That's nice.
Very
Wish
nice.
you
Thank you very
very nice. Good luck.
Rukmini Devi.
Thank you also, Komal Devi. Nice talking to you. Rukmini Devi ji. All our sadhaks are so learned basically. So what am I doing? Yeah,
Jai Shri
Rukmini ji.
Krishna,
Jai Shri
Didi.
Krishna. Friend. Jai
I
Shri
want to
Krishna.
know the meaning of the word avipaschitah. Pravadantya
Avadanti
Avadu
vipaschitah. Avipaschitah means the one.
vipaschitah. Okay.
Yeah, in the 41st shlok, no, 40th shloka, Devi. 40th, 39th.
Yeah.
Avipashyataha means the ones who are, what you say, what will be a right word? Those who are not focused, basically. Avipashyataha means those who are, thinking in an incorrect way, who are the ones who are having a selected way of looking at things.
Okay. Then 49th shloka, Durena Hyavarang Karma.
49th shloka.
Can you explain the meaning? Next time.
No, I will be taking this shloka again.
Okay.
Because I saw that the time was less, so I didn't explain it. Only 49th and 50, I thought I will take it, but I think I'll take it next time.
Okay, thank you, Didi. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Shashi Didi, please unmute. Shashi, please unmute Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna
He was
Didi.
asking avipastita, the unwise, you can say at the most, opposite of wise people. So those are the avipastita. Ji, pranam, Jai Shri Krishna, Shashi
Jai
Didi.
Shri Krishna Didi, pranam Didi. Didi, today really, it's a very good explanation, especially about Karmanye Vadika Raste and Yogastha Kuru Karmani. So really, I really got a different thinking about it and get a different feeling. So it's really very good, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna.
Didi. Pranam, Jai Shri Krishna.
Mohini,
Please unmute yourself, Mohini Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna. Actually, this is Sankhya Yoga. Why it is called Sankhya Yoga? Sankhya is counting, and like this. Why it is known as
Sankhya is not Sankhya. It is called for different reasons, Didi. Sankhya also means knowledge. Sankhya also is derived from the word that, as you say, Sankhya, where Sankhya Darshan. This is different from Sankhya Darshan, but their Prakriti and Purush means two different are considered. Similar type of knowledge is being given in this particular chapter also. So for that reason also it is called Sankhya. And Sankhya word also, it also means knowledge. So because it focuses on the Atma Gyan, it is called Sankhya Yoga.
Atma Gyan and Karma Gyan. Karma Yoga and Atma Yoga.
No, Karma Yoga and this followed in the flow. See, now these names of all the chapters, Maharshi Veda Vyasji, Bhagwan Veda Vyasji has given. So he has given because primarily this chapter starts on the note from Karma Gyan. Okay, and then that discussion followed. So because he's talking about the intellect and the knowledge, he named it as Sankhya Yoga. But the chapter will have different things. Now, when Shri Krishna told, he didn't tell in that particular distinction, okay, that I am going to tell you only about Jnana Yoga. I am going to tell you only this. These shlokas are said in a flow. If you see, there is a flow. Even if you see the end of the last shloka of the 6th chapter and the first shloka of the 7th chapter, there is a connection between them because it is a discussion. So two friends who are talking, they will not say, okay, let us talk on this topic, and then they will start. Then they will say, now let us switch to this topic. No, how two people will talk? Once they will start talking on one thing, and the flow of the topic will go through various things. It's the same thing has happened with Krishna and Arjuna also. So we cannot say that only this part of the Adhyaya is Sankhya Yoga and now this is Karma Yoga. It is not like that. The maximum shlokas are based on the knowledge. That is why it is Sankhya Yoga. Then Sthita Pragyata, that is also a little bit, and everything is focused on knowledge. One thing we have to understand, the basic foundation of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā is knowledge. It is Jnana. It is Jnana Dishthit. Means Swamiji uses this word, and I really, to understand Bhagavad Gita, this is one very important thing we all should know, that Gita is Jnana Dishthit, means it is established in knowledge. And this chapter is the foundation of Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita. All the topics that are covered in this particular chapter are detailedly discussed in the next chapters. So this entire Bhagavad Gita is established in knowledge, and that entire knowledge is coming in this particular chapter, and hence Sankhya.
It is just of all these yogas.
Yes.
Yeah, that is why it is Sankhya.
You can say it is the gist or The entire
Everything
Bhagavad Gita is an elaboration of this yoga, both ways.
Because I was already, there is nothing like counting or something. That is why I was thinking that why, but it
That
is.
is also the word Sankhya, that also is there because two, it is there.
There are so many things involved in
So
this.
many.
Yeah, that is why it is a Sankhya. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Didi.
Aarti Didi, please unmute.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
Jai Shri
I
Krishna.
was thinking when you were telling about karma and not seeking the results and all, actually we do exactly the opposite when we raise our children. If you finish your food, then I'll give you this. If you finish your study, then I'll give you this. I think we are doing the wrong thing while raising our children.
Yes. You can look at it from that perspective, but also one thing, there is a corollary to this also, because how is the nature of children? They are at that particular age, they are also rajoguni, where that thing is going to make them focus on their actions. So we cannot directly take them to a trigunatmika stage, isn't it? First, you have to come to that sattvic level. So from the tamogun, we have to pick our children out, make them at least rajoguni. They have to be action driven. Directly, if we tell them you have to become, gunatit, and you have to, become, then it is going to be difficult, no, Didi? They have to learn the importance of action. Everything has to come in stages. So ultimately, we have to make our children, but first, that desire, one, that's what very important. When Swamiji says this yogastha and talks about saudhanta, we have to be very conscious in our interpretations. When we understand these shlokas, we have to understand them in steps. And when we are thinking about karma yoga or anything, we should not underestimate the power of the action itself. The action is important. Now, the children will not do action unless they don't have desires. One thing we have to understand, very important, that desires are not bad. The desires should be driven by sattvikta. That is important. Having desire, without having a desire, good things cannot come. It's very important to have desires, but your desires should be driven by a correct intellect, by a correct intent. Okay, so giving chocolate is not the correct intent, but to begin with, at least if it is making them do the action, and then we have to focus them in the right direction. So if the freedom fighters didn't have the desire for freedom, we would not have got independence, isn't it? So the desire is extremely important. Swami Vivekananda had the desire to preach Hinduism, to preach Sanatani culture throughout the world, and that is why we are where we are. So it is very important.
When they grow up a little, can we tell them that this thing is good, so you have to do it, not because we are giving you something?
Yes, ultimately, we have to drive them towards sattvikta.
Yeah. Thank you, Didi.
Beautiful thought. Thank you.
Pooja Didi, please unmute.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna. I really have been enjoying in all your talks. So very simple question. I was trying to explain to my teenager daughter, how you have to maintain this balanced state and not get high with every high and not go low with every low. And I was trying to like little bit, tell her about the Gita. First of all, we live in America, so it's very hard for her to even relate, and so she listens to me.
True.
But she simply, she's a teenager. She's thinking for herself, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I was kind of trying to tell her like you shouldn't be like a yo-yo. You shouldn't be going up and down, and we should be maintaining. And she's like, "Why not? Let's say I get admission to my college, my dream college. Why should I not get excited and be on the highest high? And okay, if something goes wrong, and some unfortunate event happens, why not cry it all out? So what, we are human beings, and what is wrong with getting really excited and then, okay, something crashes, we lost the match. Okay, so you get sad, right? You can't be happy about it, so you cry. So I don't know, I didn't have a proper answer, so I'm like, I have to ask Shraddha. I have to ask Didi, like basically, what is, yeah, humans, what is wrong in going high and low? So
See, there is, I wouldn't say, to begin with, these emotions are very important. But when these emotions, what they don't understand as teenagers, especially I feel, is what is the problem with excessive emotions they don't understand. Because, being sad, as long as you're just treating it as, a normal thing, like, okay, I'm just sad. Sometimes the sadness drives towards wrong things. So, like we just said that, India lost, so people are sad. But the other team has won. You should be able to be happy for that, isn't it? There is an other perspective to emotions. There is a different perspective to emotions. Some people get so driven by emotion, like we see, where people are not getting, we're talking about college admissions. Recently, we have seen in nearby communities, so the child didn't get admission in the college she wanted, and she committed suicide. So, what happens with this excessiveness of emotions is that it keeps us away from the real focus. We start valuing our life less. The emotions are nowadays the problem with the new generation. Sometimes becomes is that the emotions become so high that the importance of life itself becomes low, and that, as you said correctly, it takes them towards, it becomes very self driven, everything. And that is what goes wrong with having excessive emotions. So there has to be a balance. When I am happy, I should still be able to feel the other person's pain. If I am in pain, I should still be able to see happiness in somebody else's life. That is a balance that we are actually trying to seek, and that is samatva. That is what equanimity is going to give us ultimately. It will keep us more human, and the definition of human itself is not just enjoyment, it is about caring for everything. When will it come? When we care a little less about others and also care about others. So when we give too much importance on our own emotions, this is what is the problem. So this is, from their philosophy, I'm telling. If we tell them ekdam se Bhagavad Gita padho, they will not do, until and unless they understand this very basic principle of life, that what problem is being caused. Only then they will come to a stage as to where, how do I get this particular state.
thank you, Didi. Thank you so much for explaining it so beautifully about excessive emotions. Yeah. Where should a teenager start? Like, where should I introduce them?
I also have a teenage daughter, and first step is only good communication amongst the two of you, and storytelling. Just see, they will not be directly attracted to the scriptures. I just try to look around you. The people are so obsessed to my birthday bash, all that, somebody else's birthday also, somebody else's feelings also. So I think we have to first teach people to look around. For simple thing like when we are talking about usage of plastic and all these things, what impact it has on others. When we start telling them about every action that you do doesn't have impact only upon you, it also has an impact on people around you. When this perspective comes, I think that becomes a starting point. Simply that can be a starting point, I feel.
Okay.
The consequences of the action more than the results, for only for you, what are the results on others. When a person is getting admission in college or not getting admission and getting into depression, what effect it is having on the family. When they realize that I become sad and my family is becoming sad because of that, when they realize, they learn to take care of other things. So maybe that could be the
Thank you,
starting
Didi. Thank
point.
you.
Looking
We can
around,
have one
looking
session
up.
from you. We can have one Bhagavad Gita session, like an overview just for teenagers, what's relevant to them. That might help.
There are
Thank you
much
so
more
much.
learned people. Ashu
Yeah,
Bhaiya
thank you
does
so much.
beautiful sessions like that. So I think you should talk to him about it. Ji, pranam. Jai Shri Krishna.
Dalip Bhatt Bhaiya,
Dalip.
please unmute.
Pranam Bhaiya, Jai Shri Krishna.
Bhaiya, please unmute.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
We come across some technical terms like Avyakta, IVI, Anirdesh. I want to know the simple meaning of these things because sometimes we get confused in
All
mind.
these in simple terms I have explained in the previous session actually, where so whatever these terms I have used, these are from the shlokas, I think from the after 13, 14 shloka onwards. So all this you should be able to see in the second part of the Vivechan sessions for this chapter, where Shri Krishna has given the different characteristics of Atma. So there he has used all these adjectives for Atma, and all these terms are from this chapter itself. I forgot the number of the shlokas, but all these are terms from this chapter. You can refer to the second and the third Vivechan sessions to get the technical terms, normal English words for these. Yeah. But just to answer your question a little bit, achintya means something which cannot be thought about, it cannot be imagined. The example that I had given in the previous session also is like, when I have to think about my father, if somebody tells me, think about your father, I can think about his face, his features, right? I can imagine his structure. If somebody tells me, think about your father's jivatma, I will not be able to do so. So it is achintya, means something which cannot be imagined, it cannot be thought upon. Avyakta means it is invisible, it cannot be manifested. So all these adjectives have been given by Shri Krishna in this chapter. You can refer to the previous images.
Thank you.
Hirani Bhaiya, please unmute.
Deena Devi.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. A beautiful session. Didi, two questions. One is that like God says that one who is born will die and after death again will be born back. So what exactly dies? Because the moment the Atma comes out of the body is dead. Right. So body is as it is, doesn't have anything unless and until
No,
the soul is
what
there.
is the word
What
for
dies actually?
What dies is the deha dies. The dehanta. In our scriptures, the word for death. See, basically for Atma, there is no death at all. There is no death. There is nothing like death for Atma. What is it that is dying? Is the deha, that is the body. So only the body is dying. For Atma, it remains constant. It is nitya. Nitya means it is constant. It doesn't change also. Our body is changing. When you are saying death in worldly terms, only the body is dying. Only the body is not there. But the rest, the Atma will never have. It is just changing clothes. Vasansi jiranani. The same thing. For it, it is just as simple as changing clothes for the Atma. It is not dying. For instance, if you just take our lifespan, in our lifetime, how many clothes we have changed? We have no count of that. Similarly, for our Atma, how many bodies it has changed? It has no count of it. For us, death is a big thing. So if you just yourself imagine as a dress which is being thrown, how that dress will feel, that same emotion only our body is having. Only the deha is going. Nothing else is going.
Yeah, so is it when he's saying this, does it mean that the body is talking about the death of the body, or is he saying about the relation between the body and the Atma that dies?
Both. The relation with that body is gone, but the karma will go. So that is what the actions are there, but the relation with the body is cut. Now, in this particular birth, I am Shraddha. What connection my Atma had, that I don't remember. But the karma is going to stay. That result, whatever I have to undergo, that is going to stay. But what is going to that the relation that I had with that day, I have no memory of what I was in the last birth, so it is
So
gone.
similarly, birth. So what is birth? Is the, I mean, like in this case, in the 27th sloka which is mentioned, so is the birth is after the child comes into the earth, or because the relation between the Atma and the Deha, it takes place in the mother's womb itself?
I'm not very sure about the exact point, but yeah, in the womb itself, because if you see this process somewhere in the Garbha Samskar also, it is said that when the baby is in the womb, how a mother's behavior is, depending on her choices and her thoughts and her actions, that type of Atma will get attracted to the womb. So the kind of mother he is going to come, you are going to be blessed with, depends on that. So that is the time you can say the connection has happened.
And
So
next,
that is why these, small things like Garbha Sanskar in our culture, which is mentioned, is very important. Yeah.
and stories like Prahlad and Abhimanyu and all also says that, they could listen to
Yeah,
all
that
that and connect.
confirms the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. And second question is about, the this so, we should not be affected by man or apman and all that. So but does it mean that if somebody insults me, I shouldn't react, or I
No,
shouldn't
this is a very beautiful question. And just to answer this question, I will tell you a small story from the life of Swami Vivekananda. How this question, shloka should be interpreted is very nicely known from Swami Vivekananda's example. He was traveling, and obviously people around him, he was traveling in London, I think, and he was abroad basically, and he was in his attire of that orange clad santas. We know what kind of clothes he wore. Now looking at him, these foreigners felt that he doesn't understand English, so they started saying, what kind of clothing, and they started commenting about him. Obviously he was a very learned person, and he had very good knowledge of English, but these people didn't feel so. So they started saying things like, uh, he's, insulting him basically, assuming that he doesn't understand. Swamiji didn't react at all. And after saying all bad things to him, where he just stayed calm, then they started saying that India is a bad place. All Indians are like that. And at that point of time, Swamiji was a yogi. He was a very physically well built person. And when they started saying things about his country, he got up and held that person by his neck. Dare you say anything about my country? And that was the point. These foreigners were shocked. Oh, you understand English? We were talking all these things about you. So he says, whatever you want to say about me, I don't care, but you cannot insult my country. So you understand there, that limit he has drawn. Personal interest he has not taken personally, but personal insult he has not taken personally. But insult to the country, it is his job, it is his karma, it is his duty to protect the name of his country. That distinction we should be able to do. So we don't have to keep quiet. So what was the drive? He says, you insult me, it doesn't make any difference to me. You comment on my clothes, it doesn't make any difference to me. But you make a comment on my country, I'm not going to spare you. That was his answer. Now you understand where is that line. So tatha manapamanayo, you have to understand that line where your upman should be reacted upon, when on which insult a person should react upon, that judgment a person should have. Understood?
Prabodh Kumar Bhaiya, please unmute.
जी।
Please unmute Prabodh Kumar Bhaiya. You are still in mute mode. Yes, thank you.
प्रणाम भैया।
प्रणाम दीदी। आज मुझे कुछ अपने लिए पूछना है। ये सर्व कर्म फल त्याग, ये मैं नहीं समझ पा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि जब मैं अपनी लाइफ को देखता हूँ, सर्विस करता था तो ये दिमाग में रहता था कि सैलरी आएगी, ट्रीटमेंट करता था तो ये लगता था कि भाई ये पेशेंट हमारा ठीक हो जाए। मैंने अपने अंदर कुछ चीजें विकसित की, जैसे डिजायरलेसनेस मैंने काफी डेवलप कर ली। सुबह उठता हूँ तो भगवान से प्रार्थना करके उनकी गाइडेंस में काम करने की कोशिश करता हूँ, लेकिन हर काम के पहले कि मैं भगवान के लिए कर रहा हूँ वो फीलिंग नहीं आती। रात में सारे कर्म फल अपने डायटी को मैं समर्पित करके फिर सोता हूँ। तो ये सब सारी चीजें वर्बली हो रही हैं। मतलब एक चीज जो आती है कि हम अपनी अंतरात्मा से सब चीज करें, वो फीलिंग महसूस नहीं होती है।
भैया, can I ask you one question? From when
जी,
are you learning Bhagavad Gita?
actually I have started learning Bhagavad Gita from probably 1920 with you people, L1.
हाँ,
Earlier I
wonderful.
used to read you on.
Only now we have really started understanding the meaning, only the verbal meaning, from past 1 or 2 years. Now this is one shastra, this one scripture is such that it takes, to understand in its right sense, it is believed that it takes a couple of births. काफी जन्म लग जाता है केवल एक भगवत गीता को ठीक से समझने के लिए, और कितने अनेक जन्म लग जाते हैं उसको अपने जीवन में लाने के लिए. It takes many births to get it inculcated in our lives. We cannot expect it to come, everything to come in 2 years. So do not feel bad that there is something which is not happening within us. That one thing we have to understand. What Jnaneshwar Maharaj said, that I am able to do this bhashya, all that he has said, because he has not spoken lies for many kalpa. Kalpa, we all know how many crores of years it is. Now imagine how much more we are yet to go. So it is, I consider myself as a newborn in this scripture of Bhagavad Gita. I cannot a newborn, somebody who's in primary, secondary. We want, all of us want to become, say, doctor, engineers. We cannot become in first standard, no. We have long way to go, even to attain a normal degree of engineering. Even to become a doctor, we have to study for at least 4 years or 6-8 years for doctors and etc. To become a graduate also, normal science, art, any graduate, we take 3 years. For becoming Bhagavad Gita graduate, we will need many births. We all should understand that this is going to happen in steps. So give yourself time is what I will say to all the sadhaks. And this is a very beautiful question, because many people have the same emotion that Prabodh Bhaiya expressed, and it is very beautiful of you, Prabodh Bhaiya, to express it. Many of us go through this stage, but we have to give ourselves lots of time. And again, we have to forget when it will come to us. We have to just walk on this path, forgetting about, because as I told, Ganga ji is not just united and it is over. The process is a continuous process. We have to become like a river where it is continuously uniting with the God. It is not that today I have been able to do it, I have attained Bhagavad Gita in my life. No, it is a continuous process. And it is a process which is going to continue for many, many births. You have to understand the eternity of this process. So do not worry. If you are not able to do it now, you will be able to gradually do it, and it is definitely going to happen. We should be only focused on one thing, that we are all on the right path. And you are on the right path, so you should be just happy with it.
नहीं, कई बार मन में बड़ा रिग्रेट होता है कि मैं प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ.
रिग्रेट ही नहीं करना है. Why regret? When you are doing your job, अधिकार हमारा है ही नहीं रिग्रेट करने का. Now you know, today we have, I've already told that it is not, we are not eligible to do the regret. Forget why we are doing it then. Isn't it?
ऐसे ही
अगर मेरी पात्रता नहीं है कि मैं मेडिकल कॉलेज में जाके पढ़ूं तो मैं पढ़ सकती हूँ क्या? If I am not eligible to study in a medical college, can I go and study there? No. Then now we have told from Karmanyavadikaraste that I am not eligible only to regret. Then why should we regret? Be happy, Bhaiya. Happiness is the main key.
अच्छा जी, ऐसा है कि मन में एक चीज लगती है कि जो फल की इच्छा है ना, जैसे अगर मान लीजिए मैं खाना बनाने भी जाऊंगा तो मन में ये तो रहता है ना कि खाना बनाऊंगा, कोई काम करूंगा तो मैं सोचूंगा कि भाई इसका ये परिणाम होगा, मतलब वो परिणाम को हटा करके कर्म करने वाली चीज जो है वो नहीं ला पा रहा हूँ।
आएगी, वही तो मैं समझा रही हूँ इतने समय से कि वो धीरे धीरे आएगी. 1 दिन में, 2 साल में, 4 साल में नहीं आएगी. It is
ठीक है
an
दीदी,
eternal
आ,
process.
ठीक है,
Listen
थैंक
to
यू
my
वेरी।
answer again. On YouTube, listen to the answer again.
हाँ,
Okay, very nice
ओके,
question.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक प्रणाम।
Chinmay Bhaiya, please.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Pranam Bhaiya.
Your name and your expressions are matching. So my sincere
That is
respect
Swamiji's
to you.
Kripa.
See, to me, Bhagavad Gita is very simple and I practice it. I have seen my grandfather, father reading it from my birth. So it is our family culture. And whatever we do, following Bhagavad Gita. We never deviate as a family culture anything which is not directed in Bhagavad Gita. So it's a way of
Very
life.
lucky.
That is for our family, right? But the thing is, new generation, even if you see this group also, all are senior people, senior citizens. And see, we have such a rich knowledge. Unfortunately, we are unable to attract the young generation. So how to do that? That is my, I am unable to carry conviction with my son by knowledge, by degree, by formal education. He is much, he is achieved so many degrees, so many knowledge, but he don't have Bhagavad Gita's knowledge. So to me, that's a zero. Any person in this world, and this is a knowledge for human being. It's not for Hindus or Sanatanis. Whoever is a human being, he should have the basic knowledge, and that is Bhagavad Gita. And that is why this is Brahma Vidya, the best knowledge of the universe. That's my conviction. So the only thing I would like to know that how can I motivate my family, my next generation, so that they also believe and practice this in their life.
See, it is, I think, a question that most of us have, and I come across this question so many times, even when I talk to so many parents and people around me also. I think children follow what we do rather than what we preach. So let us make an thing that we have it in our lives, in our behavior. When we are not getting anxious, excited, and other things, when our emotions are in control, they will learn from us, and gradually. And another thing is just keep doing. So that is one thing. And when you are practicing something, naturally it will go to your children also. But also understand their perspective, that they are in an age where it is important for them to earn. When we are preaching Bhagavad Gita, they should not only be told the philosophical side of it. They should also, because Bhagavad Gita doesn't tell you to just be philosophical, it tells you to earn also. Do your work. And whatever you're earning, you have to, spend in a right way. The intellect has to be fine. So all these things are also there. If you just start preaching and preaching alone, it is not. If you appreciate what they are doing, then they will appreciate what you are also doing and what you are saying. So if we look at our younger generation from a perspective that whatever they are doing is inferior to our scriptures or to anything, they are not going to be receptive of what we say. Let us say, whatever degrees you have done, everything, give them respect and appreciate, and your task, what you are doing, you will be able to do in a better way if you learn the lessons of Bhagavad Gita. When they are taught in that perspective, they will understand. Bhagavad Gita has lot of management lessons. There are, Swamiji tells in very beautiful way how it is an entire life management skill that you will be able to convince them only when we see, when they see that you are able to manage your life so beautifully. Because so one, that seed you have to sow. And whatever I've seen a little around me, people, the plant comes back to its seed. Whatever seed you have sown, they will get those values automatically. It is going to happen. So do not worry much about it. Just appreciate whatever they have achieved and what they are achieving, and set a beautiful example in front of your children. But at the same time, there will be children in the neighborhood. What we do at Gita Parivar, our Gita Samskar Varga, we try to inculcate, tell them good stories. Whatever children you have around, see, that 20, 30, that age is where they have to focus on earning. Leave that age group, catch them young. The people, the small children in your neighborhood, try to tell them stories. Don't just teach Bhagavad Gita shlokas. Tell them stories. Attract them towards scriptures. Whatever you can do as per Gita Parivar Sanskar Varga. That one, Gita Parivar's initiative is a beautiful initiative. Catch them young, Swamiji says. So try to make that a part of. When you will be with children, your energy is also going to be double. So if that is possible, try to get hold. And सिर्फ हमारे बच्चे हमारे नहीं होते हैं, पूरे सोसाइटी के बच्चे अपने ही बच्चे हैं. So
Absolutely,
try to give
100%.
those values. Yeah,
I
so
do
if
that.
you can have some small children and have some samskar work in your vicinity, that is a
Everyone.
beautiful way to start. And propaganda of our scriptures we can do to them. But the grown up people who are working and all, just to set a good example in front of them, they will gradually come to you.
Exactly, 100% in agreement. I am doing exactly that thing. My
Very
life
nice.
is
Very,
committed to Bhagavad Gita.
very nice. Lot of Abhinandan, lot of congratulations to you for
Oh.
that, and lots of best wishes. Very nice talking to you, Bhaiya. Pranam.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Geeta Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी, बहुत अच्छा विवेचन
जय श्री
रहता है आपका, सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगता है दीदी। कुछ प्रश्नों के उत्तर तो मुझे मिल गए पिछले 2 लोगों के प्रश्न उत्तर में। मैं ये जानना चाहती हूँ, कुछ संस्कार जो हमें बचपन से नहीं मिले और ग्रेजुअली, जैसे मैं तो अब इस एज में आ गई हूँ, तब मुझे बहुत कुछ पता चल रहा है, पर उन संस्कारों को जीवन में उतारना बड़ा मुश्किल हो रहा है।
बिल्कुल
और
वही
उसमें
बात
अब
मैंने अभी प्रबोध भैया से कह रही थी. हाँ, the
जी
same thing I was telling, that it will
जी
take time. है ना, इसे
ओके
आने में समय लगता है. जैसे small things, as I told you, we took so many years we have invested into graduation. It is not just 3 years. Studies up till 12th standard, from nursery till 11th, 12th standard, whatever we did, that has accumulated into our graduation. So we have spent how much on our education? How many years? We have spent more than 14, 15 years into just getting one graduate degree. So for getting the graduation of Bhagavad Gita, it is going to take much longer. Do not worry about the time. We will just focus on walking on this path. Isn't it?
जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी, नमस्ते।
Jai Shri Krishna. Pranam. Thank you. Usha Ramani Didi, Pranam and Jai Shri Krishna. Please unmute Didi.
Usha Ramani Didi, please unmute yourself. Usha Didi.
Namaste.
Ji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
See, from 19th shlokas about all Atmas, about Atma. So I want to ask you one thing. We say Atma is independent of the body, it's completely independent and it's rises. But according to Purana, after the death, we feed the Atma for 10 days like that, and then every day we have to feed it, and they say, isn't it? So How come it becomes an
I didn't get it.
undo everything
According to
that
Purana,
needed by the
what?
body? No, according to Purana, after the death, we need to feed the Atma and do
We need to
everything that
feed the
needed by the
Atma.
body. Yeah, we feed, no, we keep food and what
Acha, you're
after the
talking about the
departure of
last
the
rites
body,
and huh.
yeah,
Okay, 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 okay.
we do every
Yeah, yeah.
rituals, no? So what's the meaning? Atma is fully independent, no? It's
See, yeah. Now that is we are seeing from now this is about the forefathers that we do, all the rituals that we do. Now there are two basic purposes of those rituals. One is the souls that have departed. They have not departed in a Gita my way. They have some desires left, etc., etc. So there is an entire shastra behind that, like what kind of soul, where will it land. So these are the souls which have not been liberated in some or the other world. They are there and they are still connected in so they are disconnected from the body, but by karma, by their desires, whatever it is, they are somehow here. So we all those actions that we do are going to reach them. That is what the scriptures say. I don't have much details about those that karma kanda didi, but I have full faith in the shastra. So it is saying that if my future generation does this, I will be happy in the other world. Why this is happening? Because my soul is not liberated from the desires of this, and its consequences are going to be borne by the next generation. So if from two perspectives this is done, because the soul it has some unfulfilled desires, and we are and by doing these rituals, what are we getting? Forget about the liberation of that atma. We get the blessings, we get the blessings or fruits of having performed our duties as the new generation. So what I get now, it could be some punyatma which probably doesn't even need these rituals, but
yeah,
by
that's what I
doing
meant.
these rituals, that's what, by doing these rituals, I get the punya, or I get the blessing of having done my duties. As a child, the mother probably doesn't need anything from me, but the respect and will, out of love, if I'm doing something for my parents, I get the punya, additional punya of having performed my duties. Okay, so that is the important thing. It is our duty, so we have to do, and scriptures tell us to follow our duties. So what is our duty? We have to do, whether they need it or not. Again, it is not our job to think about it, isn't it?
Yeah,
So we
even if
have
the
to do
Atma is liberated, we need not
we
think
don't
about
have
all
that
this.
knowledge.
Yeah,
We don't have that knowledge, and we are
yeah,
not even going to have it. But it
yes.
is my duty to do that ritual. I have to do it. Isn't it?
Thank you, Didi. Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna. Sundar Rajan Bhaiya, Jai Shri Krishna.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. I just wanted to add my personal experience to one of the participants' question. One of the participants raised a point saying that how do we, the younger generation, how do we inculcate the habit and all that? So in that aspect only, I just wanted to share my experience, personal experience. I am a co-trainer in one of the groups, and it is around 11 o'clock in the night. And when we started this thing, group program, we realized that at 11 o'clock in one joint family, 7 children are had joined the program. Unfortunately, only one person had joined, but all the other 6 children were learning, reciting and all that together with that girl. So then we realized that all the 7 children are there in that group. And you can imagine 11 o'clock in the night, children attending to the class regularly, and all of them are reciting very well. So
And
this
not
way,
only, yeah, very nice. Actually, you brought up a very good point. And not only that, even if we see our Gita Parivar volunteers, we have so many younger generation volunteers. We have an army of young
yeah.
volunteers actually. Because you are a
So
Gita Sevi, I felt like saying that to you. So we
yeah.
both cherish this.
So the Gita Parivar, what it has started, it is slowly started getting inculcated into the younger generation also. Maybe at our level, it might not have affected. Even take our own example, we have started learning it only after some 50 years or 60 years of our life, isn't it? So now,
Yes.
with the Gita Parivar's intervention, this habit of learning Bhagavad-Gītā has already started. So it goes on increasing. Now, day by day, it keeps increasing. So the younger generation also will be learning this much earlier than what we all learned.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to tell.
That's very interesting.
I just wanted to inform you that because another point was it was a joint family, joint family. So which is very rare to find nowadays.
Very nice. Very nice. Very interesting experience he shared. Superb. Jai Shri Krishna. Very good. Very nice. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Sundar.
Yes, Didi. Thank you, Didi, for your wonderful guidance and thought-provoking answers. Thank you so much. I offer my gratitude and thanks to the backend team of Gita Parivar and the technical assistant today, Vaishali Didi, by whose efforts today's session has been conducted so smoothly. I also thank you all sadhaks for your warm presence in today's session. Let's all offer our prayers to thank him for blessing us all with such a beautiful session today. For the prayer, I invite B. Bhagyalakshmi Didi from Tirupur, Tamil Nadu. Didi is a retired engineer from BSNL, joined Gita Parivar in April 22, has completed all the 4 levels as a sadhak and is giving seva as a technical assistant and a group coordinator. Please begin the prayer, Didi.
योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दौ वासुदेवौ व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकौ वीरं कृष्णौ वन्दे
Jagadguru Shri Krishna Vande Jagadguru.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Sorry, I missed
It's
that.
okay. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you for the prayer, Didi. Thank you. Hopefully, everyone has downloaded the Ram Pratishtha app and is offering your contribution in the Shatakoti Hanuman Chalisa Abhiyan, which is to be offered in the divine feet of Lord Rama during the Ram Pratishtha in Ayodhya in January 24. We all will be reciting the Hanuman Chalisa now. I request you all to please join in for the same.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिहि दिखावा विकट रूप रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए, रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई, सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा, जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीना, तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु, प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज समारो आपै, तीनों लोक हाकते कापै, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै, महावीर जब नाम सुनावै, नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै, चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै, अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई, जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा, पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Thank you once again, everyone. See you all in the enlightening session again next week. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thanks to you also, Anita Didi, for your pleasant presence throughout the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.